ever wish your day wasn't dictated by your health? Are you tired of being tired all the time, or is pain holding you back from enjoying your time with your family? Would you like to manage your symptoms holistically, but you just don't know where to begin? I am so excited that you're here. This podcast will help you understand how natural remedies work so you can relieve your symptoms and live a fuller life. My name is Penny. I'm an occupational therapist, past pharmaceutical rep, a mom, and a wife with a strong faith, and for 25 years, I battled through debilitating Crohn's disease. I took all the medicine and did all the surgeries that stole so much time with my family, but never truly healed me. I finally realized if I was going to survive this disease, I needed to open my stubborn eyes to alternative solutions. I researched how perfectly our bodies work with plants and a lifestyle that made my health less of a burden to my family and aligned so beautifully with my faith and my medical training. If you are ready to reclaim your life with holistic options that are easy to implement as a busy mom and provide relief that lasts, this is the podcast for you. Hey y'all, real quick before we jump in, if this podcast has ever made you laugh, nod your head, or pause and go, whoa, would you do me a quick favor beyond sharing your favorite episode with a friend and leave a short review? It doesn't have to be fancy. And I know you probably hear that a lot, but for me, since I do no advertising, it seriously makes my day, and it makes a huge difference in Becoming Natural's visibility for those who need to hear about the amazing connection between our bodies, the earth, and God's design. It only takes a second, and it helps more amazing women find this space. Thank you so very much. All right, let's get to the good stuff. Hello, Becoming Natural fans. This is Penny, your host of Becoming Natural, and welcome back to episode 42, Vinegar Health Benefits, Ancient Remedy for Your Health and Home. So I'm really excited about today. We're diving deep into the humble yet powerful world of vinegar, a kitchen staple for some, packed with surprising health benefits, a fascinating history, and practical uses that span health and home. We'll explore vinegar's ancient roots, uncover its diverse types, and provide practical, science-backed, of course, tips for harnessing plain white vinegar and apple cider vinegar in your wellness journey and everyday living. I have to admit that I was still walking around in my uninformed world years ago when my husband started using vinegar for everything. It became a big joke in our family. We lived in Houston at the time, and if you have ever lived in a humid area, you know the pain of towels that are dry but still stink coming out of the laundry. It's awful. Well, in comes my husband. Hello to vinegar. He told me to put vinegar in the softener container in the wash in place of softener to remove the stink and make my towels fluffy again. I was certain that he was crazy and that my towels would smell like vinegar, and of course, I was proven wrong. I've never looked back and never once bought softener again. Not only does softener or even dryer sheets have terrible chemicals in them, they stay in the fabric and they are what holds on to those stinky odors. So people think that they keep adding softener to make it smell better when in actuality, long term, it's the softener that's in the fibers of the fabric that holds the stink. So that vinegar cleans out the stink, it has no harmful residue, and it makes your towels or your clothes fluffy and very clean, and they don't smell like vinegar. So next up, I had a sinus infection, and I was getting to the point where I was completely overtaking unnecessary antibiotics, and he told me to boil vinegar over the stove and to breathe the fumes into my respiratory pathways. He's an asthmatic. He knows lots of things about respiratory things. It was actually quite amazing. And you can kill two birds with one stone there, because I can't stand the smell of bacon or broccoli lingering in my house. And of course, he informed me that if you boil vinegar, it takes the stink out of the air. And I kid you not, I do that all the time now. After I've cooked, I put a little pot of vinegar on the stove, tiny, and I just let it boil for, a couple minutes. It's amazing. It takes everything out of the air. So he was 3 for 3, and I could not believe where he got all his knowledge, let alone did he have a page that he was looking at of 101 uses for vinegar. I have no idea. I asked him today, where did you learn about all these vinegar uses way back when? And he has no recollection, but he was way ahead of me in the vinegar department. That is for sure. And to this day, we still buy vinegar in bulk at Costco. It is a staple in our house for cleaning, and more to come with great ideas. If you are new to vinegar, or if you want more ideas for how to use this inexpensive yet amazing product, remedy, solution to so many different things. So as usual, I had to do a history dive. Where did vinegar come from? How is it created? When did it all begin? So vinegar is far from new. It's not a wellness trend, as people might like to say. It's actually been revered across cultures for centuries. Kind of sounds familiar, doesn't it? Vinegar has been used for thousands of years. The earliest known records date back to ancient Babylon, around 5000 BC, where it was made from dates and other sugary fruits. Hippocrates himself, the father of medicine, utilized vinegar nearly 2,500 years ago for healing wounds, infections, and aiding in digestion. That's a big one. Ancient Roman soldiers, they carried vinegar as an energy drink. Can you imagine? Oh, to sustain them during long marches. And in scripture, vinegar actually pops up too at the crucifixion of Jesus when he was offered sour wine on a sponge in John 19:29. Talk about an ingredient with deep roots in human history and faith. But John 19:29 says a jar of wine vinegar was there. So they soaked a sponge in it, put the sponge on a stalk of hyssop plant and lifted it up to Jesus' lips. Amazing. But the historical uses of vinegar extend far beyond these well-known examples. In ancient Egypt, vinegar was widely used around 3000 BC for preserving food and treating infections, considered valuable enough to store in the pharaoh's tombs. Traditional Chinese medicine has harnessed vinegar for thousands of years to detoxify the body, enhance blood circulation, and restore internal energy balance. Samurai warriors in ancient Japan relied on vinegar-based tonics to boost their energy, endurance, and recovery during intense battles and training. Vinegar was also viewed as a tool for spiritual purification across many cultures. Ancient Egyptians, Chinese healers, and even early European traditions used vinegar in cleansing and protective rituals, believing it could ward off illness and negative energy. So throughout the Middle Ages, vinegar was a go-to remedy for cleaning wounds, preserving food, and even warding off plagues. People used to carry sponges soaked in vinegar thinking that it would protect them. Maybe it did. I don't know. Whether or not it saved anyone from the Black Death, vinegar was a staple for both the kitchen and the apothecaries. So by the 17th century, vinegar production methods had majorly improved, with French and Italian producers leading the way in creating different types of vinegars, including wine vinegar and balsamic vinegar. Yum. Apple cider vinegar specifically gained significant popularity in the 1950s and 60s as part of trendy health changes. And in the 70s, health enthusiasts promoted it as a cure for a variety of ailments, all the way from acne and skincare to obesity and managing your satiety and your blood sugar, which we'll talk about. Clearly, vinegar holds deep cultural significance, intertwining with human history, our spirituality, and healing traditions around the world. If you've been listening to Becoming Natural for a time now, isn't it remarkable how all our natural remedies we think are, quote, new discoveries are really quite old? And on top of that, they're less expensive than any of our current day fancy chemical-laden solutions. These are all things that make you go, right? We're finding these inexpensive things that have been around forever and discovering that they've replaced all of these inexpensive things that were proven with expensive things that are full of chemicals. So what is vinegar and where did it come from? So the word vinegar comes from the French term. It's been a long time since I've used my French, but vinaigre, V-I-N-A-I-G-R-E, which means sour wine, because that's how it started. Fermented wine gone wrong. What was a mistake turned into an amazing medicine, food, and cleaning solution. So all this time we talked about wine in the Bible. We had no idea how incredible this wine was going to be for many, many things. It was commonly made from fermented wine or other alcoholic beverages. So how does vinegar actually become vinegar? Vinegar begins with fermentation. Fermentation is a natural room temperature process where friendly yeast first converts the sugars in fruits or grains into alcohol. Then specific bacteria called Acetobacter turn that alcohol into acetic acid, vinegar's powerful active ingredient. So that acetic acid is what makes vinegar vinegar. It just takes time, microbes, and oxygen working together to transform simple ingredients into this powerful, powerful liquid. Vinegar is God's gift of fermentation. So different bases of ingredients create different vinegars. So you might obviously know apples are used for apple cider vinegar. Then there's rice for rice vinegar. Grapes are for balsamic vinegar. It's simply chemistry. Yeast plus bacteria plus time equals vinegar of whatever choice from whatever base. You can even make your own at home with fruit scraps and a lot of patience. It's the same God-designed process that gives us yogurt, sauerkraut, kombucha, just take one step further to become vinegar. So since vinegar can come from many sources, each has unique flavor profiles and uses. So today I'm actually going to dive into two of the most popular forms of vinegar, our white vinegar and apple cider vinegar. And there are hundreds, if not thousands, of uses around the house and in our healthy and beauty routines. Safety note, just so you always want to dilute vinegar. It has very high acidity, which can damage your tooth enamel and irritate your throat or your stomach. And if you're on meds for blood sugar, diuretics, or potassium, talk to your doctor first. So just be careful that you always dilute it. So the first one we're going to dive into is white vinegar. While both apple cider vinegar and white vinegar can be used for many things, in my mind, I kind of think of white vinegar as the cleaning and home agent, while I tend to use apple cider vinegar more for my body. And that's just simply my opinion because you can interchange their uses for sure. As a broad overview, I have a list that I'm going to just breeze through of different vinegars and their health uses. So we have 5 different vinegars here. So we have apple cider vinegar. It's made from fermented apples. And summary, it supports digestion, blood sugar, satiety, and we use it by diluting it before meals and used in salad dressing. Balsamic vinegar is made from fermented grapes. It is rich in antioxidants, gut-friendly polyphenols. We've heard that before, right? When we were talking about leaky gut. And it adds flavor to vegetables and meats. Red wine vinegar is fermented red wine. Easy one. It contains resveratrol. We've talked about that as well. It's related to heart-healthy links. It is used in marinades and salad dressings. Rice vinegar is fermented rice. It is milder, but it can also aid in digestion, and it's used in many Asian dishes and sushi and rice and things like that. And then white vinegar, our grain-based ethanol. It's from grain-based ethanol. It is the strongest of the cleaning powers, the basic antimicrobial, and our common uses are cleaning, pickling, and deodorizing. So that's the general use of kind of the 5 major vinegars that I think of. But plain distilled white vinegar, typically derived from grain alcohol, is our unsung hero in your cleaning cabinet, supported by oodles and oodles of scientific evidence. So I just attached a few scientific journals here to support it. But a study published in the Journal of Environmental Health found vinegar effectively kills harmful bacteria such as E. coli and salmonella on surfaces, making it a powerful natural disinfectant. If you're struggling with stubborn grime in your kitchen or your bathroom, simply sprinkle just a little bit of baking soda, which we'll dive into that in the future, but combine that and then spray diluted vinegar on top of it, and your surfaces will just sparkle naturally. Vinegar effortlessly removes fingerprints and streaks from windows and your mirrors, stainless steel appliances. We go and we buy these like fancy cleaners for stainless steel. You don't need them. Just vinegar. Just dilute some vinegar, get a water bottle, for a couple bucks, and just use vinegar. Get rid of all those chemicals. So I have a podcaster that I listened to, and she mentioned, it wasn't even related, but she only used 5 products in her house for cleaning, and vinegar was one of them. I'm like, that's my dream. I'm going to work out all of the chemicals that I have and never buy more in the future. The problem is my husband keeps buying new cleaners. So anyway, back to stainless steel appliances. So you can clean your stainless steel appliances with vinegar. You can easily replace your expensive glass cleaners that have strong scents and strong chemicals. So if you're tired of those chemical odors, I'm to the point where I use enough clean that if I smell those odors, it actually makes me get a headache or I start coughing. But vinegar, like I said before, can eliminate those smells, and it can also eliminate those lingering kitchen smells, like I said about broccoli and bacon. It can eliminate pet odors. You can spray it over the carpet where perhaps you had a pet accident. It'll remove that odor, and the musty laundry odors, basically, that I mentioned before, where I began my vinegar plight. So just simmer vinegar with water, or you can even add half a cup to your laundry rinse. Obviously, that's what I did in the past, but it's so cheap. Have y'all ever looked at how inexpensive a bottle of vinegar is? And like I said, we get it I think they come in like a 3 case of enormous bottles, and we keep one in the laundry room and one in the kitchen and one in the bathroom. But it is a budget-friendly alternative to fabric softeners and deodorizing sprays and cleaning agents. It's just amazing. So Sinus troubles or seasonal allergies do cause misery, and you can use the steam of the vinegar to inhale it. With diluted vinegar, it helps clear congestion. And the reason this works is it neutralizes the bacteria and the mold spores in the air, providing relief naturally and safely. And I will admit that sometimes when you're boiling the vinegar, it's kind of like it's a strong smell itself, but at least you know as you're smelling it that it's not harmful to you at all. But it potentially can replace the cost of your nasal sprays that are expensive and air purifiers and things like that. So as a complete multi-purpose product, vinegar can replace multiple commercial products in your home, expensive drain cleaners and harsh disinfectants, chemical-laden produce washes. It can clean your produce, and specialized pet odor removers, all at a fraction of the cost. When we get to the end of this podcast, I'm literally going to read a list of my favorites that I found. So it's going to come at you really fast. I just want to go to the background and the history and why we got to using it. So I will give lots of examples at the end of how we can use the vinegar. So now I'm going to touch on apple cider vinegar. Apple cider vinegar offers a unique wellness boost, rich in enzymes, probiotics, and essential minerals from fermented apples. For health benefits, you must make sure that you look for a raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar with the mother. You got to make sure that mother's in there. And this unprocessed version contains beneficial bacteria and enzymes. So you do want to make sure that your apple cider vinegar is, organic and it has the mother in it. I know that Bragg's is kind of my go-to, but I do know that the brand that they sell at Costco has the mother. Just always make sure that mother is there. But a 2018 study in the Journal of Functional Foods found that apple cider vinegar significantly lowers post-meal blood sugar spikes. Research from Bioscience, Biotechnology, and Biochemistry magazine showed that consistent use of apple cider vinegar can aid in weight management and reduce your belly fat. And I'm going to say, when I was learning about apple cider vinegar years ago, I started taking apple cider vinegar capsules, and I literally felt the heat in my abdomen. It was weird. It was like, you say you have a fever or something, but it was like it was breaking down. I know. I just felt it. And I knew that that's what it was, because then when I stopped, I didn't have that heat in my belly. So I really do believe it reduces your belly fat. Also, in the Journal of Evidence-Based Integrative Medicine in 2020, they demonstrated that apple cider vinegar's positive effects on gut health, and that they promote beneficial bacteria growth, which is amazing. That's what we want. That is really, when it comes down to brass tacks, when we want to heal our body, it's all about the gut. I'm learning so much about this. I don't know if I've mentioned this on a side note, that I'm getting certified for my second level of being an integrative health practitioner. And it's so much fun because pretty soon I'll get to practice. But the whole foundation is our gut. Our gut is everything. So for daily wellness, for apple cider vinegar, you want to dilute a tablespoon in water before your meals and just take a shot of it if you can, or incorporate it into something you eat if you don't like the flavor. But it improves your digestion, it balances your stomach acid, and it supports gentle, slow detoxification. It's not going to make you run to the bathroom or have massive die-off, but it's a gentle, slow detoxification. Apple cider vinegar aids in liver function, which is helping your body naturally eliminate those toxins and reduce the bloating that you get in your stomach after eating. So I actually just put a cup of my apple cider vinegar in my bath. I know that if I'm soaking in it, it's absorbing in my body. And like I've said before, I'll do a million different things in my bath, all different things every night, just because I feel like a little bit of something is always going to keep helping me. So I'm always doing little detoxes throughout my life and throughout my day. If you need to combat a sore throat or a common cold, gargling diluted apple cider vinegar can soothe your throat and reduce harmful bacteria. Apple cider vinegar also doubles as a massive beauty aid. You use it diluted as a scalp rinse for shinier, dandruff-free hair, or to calm your skin irritation from sunburn or bug bites. So I have a friend, a great friend, and she sent me, I think it was a TikTok or something on Instagram, and she did, hashtag goals. And the girl basically uses apple cider vinegar to wash her entire body. So and this is goals because I haven't made it there yet for my shampoo and conditioner, but she only uses it for her shampoo and conditioner. That's the only way she cleans her hair. And then if she doesn't soak in the apple cider vinegar in a bathtub, she puts it in a spritzer bottle and she sprays it when she's standing in the shower and uses her little puff and cleans, her armpits and cleans her whole body. And I'm telling you, it's amazing. And I will tell you that Your whole bathroom, yes, it's going to smell like apple cider vinegar and it's going to knock your family over. But what is truly amazing is that you don't smell like apple cider vinegar. I don't know why or how, but I remember the first time I did it, I was like, holy Hannah. And I was like, smell me, smell my arm and skin. Do I smell like it? And you can't smell it on your body when you use it. But yes, your whole bathroom does it. But the way I see it is my bathtub is getting a cleaning job while I'm cleaning my body with it. So it kind of helps to keep your bathtub clean. Anyway, so goals to completely clean your body with really, we don't need shampoo and conditioner. They're just loaded with chemicals and bad stuff and buildup and all the things. We shouldn't be using them anyway. I'm working on that one. And when I have the right answer to that along the way, I'll let you know that too. But it completely extends creating a safe and effective product in our house. So it will help with removing pesticides and germs from your fruits and vegetables without the chemical residues, so you can replace those washes if you use them. So my other funny story is when I was in the hospital with sepsis for many, many weeks, my sweet niece had given me, before I'd gone to the hospital, you remember how, I don't know if people still do it, but they were stickers that looked like nail polish. And I had those on my toes the whole time I was in the hospital. And I guess you're supposed to remove them and change them every 2 weeks. Well, I did no such thing because I was in the hospital, completely forgot that I had them. So by the time that I got home and took them off, I had acquired a little toe fungus on my big toenail. And I did multiple things, never really paying attention to it. And literally a couple years later, it was still there. And I had tried different things that said it would work. And one night I just got a bowl and I put apple cider vinegar in it and I soaked my toe in that bowl for 30 minutes. And then because I didn't think once was enough, I did it again the next night. And I kid you not, it totally neutralized the pH of that fungus and it grew right out. And I've never had a problem again. It was amazing. So it amazes me how something as simple and easy as vinegar carries such profound wisdom from our ancient history into today's modern home. So whether you're using it for health, for cleaning, culinary purposes, its versatility is completely unmatched. You can use it for everything. Plus, it has such a long and rich history that ties it to, gosh, our past civilizations around the world. So it's amazing how God often uses such simple things, the little overlooked things, to bring healing and comfort and wellness into our lives. So just like vinegar, which sometimes we completely undervalue and we scoff and we think, oh, that can't work or it won't work as well. It honestly works best. And it's an undervalued tool and remedy that is completely and readily available to us to use. And quite honestly, it's really nice to save money in the pocketbook as well. So my goal is, like I said, the girl that I heard in a podcast, that she only uses 5 products to clean her house, and vinegar was one of them. I am going to simplify my cleaning agents, simplify my life, simplify the products that I use on my body, and purge the cleaning closet. So here I'm going to go through a very comprehensive list here, like I mentioned, of some great ways that you can start by using vinegar in your daily routines. So discovering ways to use it is amazing. And if you're already a fan, maybe I can add a new idea for you. Or if you've never heard of it before, you've never used it before, now is the time to start, because it truly is remarkable and it is as effective as I'm claiming it to be. It's amazing. So to be able to let go of slathering our bodies and our homes with expensive and unnecessary chemicals is so completely empowering and exciting. And you want to tell everybody, oh my gosh, I love vinegar. So we're going to start first with cleaning purposes. You can use it basically as an all-purpose cleaner. So vinegar can be used to clean countertops. Like I said, it removed salmonella and E. coli from countertops. You can use it on windows and glass surfaces, like we said, stainless steel. It's an effective and natural alternative to chemical-based cleaners for all of those things. Just use a rag or a towel, paper towel. You can use it as toilet cleaner. Mix vinegar with baking soda to clean and deodorize your toilets. And it's amazing, and it gets white. And if you've ever thought about it, when you see like teeth whitening agents and all that, they always incorporate either baking soda or vinegar or both. They're both natural whiteners. So if you think about how white your toilet can be, you can use it as a floor cleaner. And this is new to me. I'm excited. It's reported that it can basically be like using wax without using wax. You dilute vinegar with water to clean your floors, and it leaves them shiny and streak-free. It also can remove stains. It can help remove stains from carpets, upholstery, and clothing. Remember, we talked about pet stains. Always, though, just make sure that you test a small, unseen spot just in case. I love this, and I use this all the time. You can use it for your microwave and even for your dishwasher. Fill a bowl with equal parts water and vinegar, along with maybe a couple drops of essential oil if you want. If I do it in my dishwasher, I actually put baking soda in there, but and then I run a cycle on the dishwasher. If you're using it in the microwave, you'll put it in the microwave for a minute or so, and it will loosen the mess inside the microwave. So it makes it to where you can just wipe all those stuck on spots away. It's amazing how it's like the steam of that vinegar. It just breaks it all down. This is the next thing I want to try because I really, really want to have some cleaning wipes. So what you do is you combine a 1/4 cup of white vinegar with 2 tablespoons of baking soda and a 1/4 cup of water. So, and at this point, if you want, it's optional. You can add any essential oil that you like to improve the scent of the wipes, or if you have a favorite one that boosts like cleaning power, whatever, but fill a container with reusable rags, like old pieces of towels or t-shirts, cut them up, pour the solution on top, and then close the top. You can use the wipes whenever they're needed. So they're just always kind of at the ready. Can't wait to do that. Use vinegar to wipe down your faucets. So you can use vinegar to remove lime buildup. So if you put vinegar in a Ziploc bag and you put it over your shower head and, use a zip tie and just put it there overnight, and then the next morning, take it down, all the lime buildup is gone. And you can also use the vinegar to wipe down that same lime buildup or anything around your faucets or fixtures. So you can do the vinegar, and sometimes it says you can add a tablespoon of salt to make it more like a paste, and then you can apply it to your fixtures and wipe it clean. That's another option. Okay, so laundry. We've already talked about the amazing fabric softener, the whole way I was introduced to using vinegar. But add vinegar to the rinse cycle or to your little softener section to soften your clothes without the use of commercial fabric softeners. Say goodbye to softeners. It's amazingly freedom, and you don't have to pay for the darn things. And to me, they always left stink in my clothes. You can use it as a stain remover. So apply vinegar directly to stains before washing to help lift them from the fabrics. It gets into those fibers, just like I said about the towels, and it pulls all the yucky stuff out of the fibers. So it makes sense. It'll remove stains as well. Really fun, and I've used this too if you're a gardener. Vinegar will naturally kill weeds, but just be cautious because it can also kill desirable plants. So make sure you don't get it on the leaves of your desirable plants. Get like one of those pumps or sprays where you can spray it directly on what you want it to spray on. And I also use it as a plant fertilizer. So keep in mind that vinegar is very high with its acidic content. So acidic loving plants like azaleas and rhododendrons, you can dilute the vinegar with water, or you can use it directly as a fertilizer for those plants. Just recognize that all of this is working by changing the pH of the plant. So I know like with hydrangeas, you can change the color of your hydrangea based on the pH. So keep in mind the whole idea when I used the apple cider vinegar to help my toe, the reason it helped the fungus is it was just changing the pH so the fungus couldn't survive. So when it comes down to really why it's working, it's all about whether it's an acid or a base. So health and beauty, just like I mentioned, you can use it as a hair rinse. If you're not ready to like cold turkey and just use apple cider vinegar for shampoo and conditioner, although it's all we need once we get all the stuff in our head. It's kind of like detoxing your deodorant, but you can rinse your hair with the diluted vinegar to remove the buildup and add shine. So use it maybe you could start using it just in place of your conditioner. You can use it as a skin toner. So you mix vinegar and water as a natural toner for skin. You can use it, like I said, as a foot soak, but if you soak your feet in a mixture of warm water and vinegar, it softens your calluses and it'll soothe your tired feet. Here it is. To whiten your teeth, you brush your teeth once per week with some white vinegar. It is an all-natural whitening solution. Plus, it can help you banish your bad breath because it's fighting all the gunky stuff in there. But keep in mind, you might want to dilute it because it is very strong and we don't want to harm your enamel. For cooking and food preservation, obviously vinegar is used for pickling vegetables and preserving them for longer periods. It's used in salad dressings and marinades. It tenderizes the meat and it adds flavor to marinades. And keep in mind that when you cook with these things and you're ingesting these things, it is all really, really good for digestion. So more just general household remedies, but you can use vinegar for sunburn relief. Apply diluted vinegar to your sunburned skin and it'll soothe the discomfort. It'll soothe the sore throat. Just like we said before, you can gargle it to relieve the sore throat. You can use it as an insect repellent. So vinegar can deter ants, mosquitoes, and other pests. Spray diluted vinegar around your doorways and windows, or use it to clean surfaces where insects are a problem, and you don't have to worry about it. But you can save money on pest control and never worry about chemicals in your house for your kids or for your pups to get into. Recently, I did this. You can use it as a fruit fly trap. I had fruit flies down by my bananas, and we put a little cup of apple cider vinegar just sitting right there on the counter. And by the next day, I had like 10 fruit flies in there. It's amazing. So you can also do it with white vinegar. I just had apple cider vinegar at the ready. So I'm not a coffee drinker, but I will tell you, I hear this all the time, but you can clean your coffee maker. So if you just put vinegar, white vinegar in your coffee maker about once a month, fill the reservoir on your coffee maker with white vinegar, and then run it through a brewing cycle, completely cleans your coffee maker. So just general ways that you can use it. We're getting to the end, I promise. But odor neutralizer. You can place a bowl of vinegar in a room just to absorb unwanted odors. I mean, I've boiled it, but I guess you can put it in a room if there's like pet odors or things like that. Fruit and vegetable wash. It's so important these days because we have so much nastiness on our fruit and vegetables. But dilute vinegar and put it in a little spray bottle and remove pesticide residues and bacteria. And it's really funny because everything I'm reading on here says diluted vinegar and water, diluted vinegar and water. So literally you can use the same diluted vinegar and water in your kitchen, in your bathroom, in your shower, outside. Like it's an all-purpose cleaner. It's really quite amazing. Another thing, it gets rid of gum. So if you have gum stuck on the fabric or in your hair, heat up a small bowl of vinegar and pour it over the area, and the goo will completely dissolve. It also gets rid of water rings. So if you have water rings on any wood or leather furniture, you can usually get rid of it by combining equal parts of vinegar and, this is the one different thing, olive oil. Just apply it with a soft cloth, let it soak in, and then rinse afterwards. So next time you reach for that bottle of vinegar and you think, oh, there's nothing I can do with this vinegar, pause and think about this and vinegar's rich history and how it was a total accident that wine soured way back when and became something quite amazing that we can use in every aspect of our life. It's completely versatile. It's a cost saving, and it is an amazing power in your house, and especially to enhance your family's health and home. We are truly capable of achieving a greater well-being just simply through the natural resources that we are already provided, which is the complete goal of Becoming Natural, to make everything simple, make it easy, and not overwhelming. So I encourage you, if you're hearing this today, go buy some vinegar, apple cider vinegar with the mother, or get some white vinegar and try out any of these ideas. I think it'll be amazing. I think you'll be completely empowered to start cleaning your whole house with vinegar. But don't blame me if your bathroom smells like apple cider vinegar. I hope you have a great day, and we'll catch you next week. Have a good one. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you've enjoyed today's episode, hit that follow button, leave a 5-star review if you're so willing, and help spread the message of Becoming Natural by sharing it with a friend. Check out the resources in the show notes and join the email list to stay on top of all the latest and greatest happenings at Becoming Natural as we roll out exciting new things while we grow. Until next time, take those baby steps to a more natural life, and always give yourself grace. Progress, not perfection, is the goal. See you next week.